What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be telling you about my Tira deck profile. So this campus championship was a little different. We asked patreon.com/TCG University what they wanted us to do in a special campus championship, and they said, let's do a ultra rare build around. So the conditions are we get to play a singular ultra rare, focus our deck around it, and we don't get to play any other ultra rares, but we can play any other type of card in the game. So commons, uncommons, promos, starter deck cards, any card that we'd like, as long as it's not an ultra rare. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the game. All right, so this is Tira. If you haven't seen one of my deck profiles, basically the way that I make this happen is, as opposed to just reading off verbatim what exactly the cards do, I want to give you more of an idea of what the deck does itself. So what does this Tira deck want to do? Well, she has this response once per turn, and I want to play it not just on my turn, but on their turn. And the best way to accomplish that is, or the only way to accomplish that, is to play reversals. And so I am playing combo reversals that do stuff. And the Desperation R is neat, it's fun, it is an aspect of the deck, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So in order to make this happen, the ultra rare, and I'll toss this there. In order to make this happen, the ultra rare that we picked was Rose Whiplash, one of the strongest ultra rares inside of the Cowboy Bebop set. Really has a flair and a feel of its own, and it does something immaculate inside of Tira. One of Tira's biggest issues as a character is her character as a 7-hand size. She doesn't kill people. She's got a real issue with getting speed and damage, and this card just does that in spades. It essentially doubles its own speed and damage just for comboing off of a reversal. Perfect. It picks up another copy of reversal. Perfect. And gains 4 vitality. I know we want to be in desperation, but it's really, really easy in this current format to get smacked around as a 7-hand size character. So this card just lets us have a little extra vitality. This is the ultra rare that we're building around, so every card in the deck is going to have combo and reversal on it in order to make sure that we can combo out with our Rose Whiplash. The next major card, and this is the MVP of the deck, if it's not Rose Whiplash, it's got to be Scratch. Scratch does everything that Tira wants to do. Destroy one of my foundations to destroy 2 of yours, as well as put a foundation into my opponent's card pool. One of the easiest ways that Tira stays alive is I'm going to clog your card pool full of garbage and make it so where that you can't play any more cards, either as for blocks and make sure that all of my stuff is guaranteed damage and / or make sure that you can't play any more cards, meaning that my destruction is even smoother. I think this is a really clever design when it comes to debuild, because not only is it debuild, but because of the card pool stuffing, it's hard for my opponent to replenish those lost resources. It's just, I think it's actually a really, really clever way to do it. I like the design of Tira. Up next, we're playing a bread and butter card. This card is basically just a block. It's response after you block with it. Seal their card, which only matters if their card is safe, and add and stuff a card from their card pool, which is what we very much want to do. A super easy play is Precise Blow into Scratch. It combos with a weapon. This is a weapon. All the cards in the deck are weapon combo reversal, except for Scratch, which is just a reversal and a combo. It doesn't have weapon. Thank goodness. Can't play Scratch into Scratch. That'd be insane. But we stuff one with Precise Blow. We stuff one with Scratch, and now they have +2 progressive to everything they do. It's even better than Breaker 2 because it lasts for the rest of the turn. And we've got some neat tools to work with these face downs, which we will get to, I promise. The next card that we're playing is 3 Bamboo Blind Slice. This card is one of the best defensive cards in the game. You can just block with it. Block with it as your block. Play Scratch as your reversal, which is Scratch or Rose Whip, depending on your flavor, depending on what's in your hand. And we now take and we pump their card pool full, or make this thing absolutely unblockable. And then, if they do happen to play any more attacks, I'm going to discard a momentum, build one of these 2 cards down as a foundation, and then so I can block even easier, and then just negate one of their attacks. Incredibly, incredibly strong defensive piece. Or you can do it the opposite direction, where I will block with one of these. It is a weapon, so I can combo off of the Bamboo Blind Slice. I'll give it stun 2, and then eat a foundation, and then stun 2. I've taken 3 resources away from them for the essentially next 2 turns. Their turn and then my turn. They'll still stay committed. So very, very strong card. I didn't want it to be a 4 of just because we're playing Rose Whip as the high block. And then my last card, the main card that I kill people on my turn with, was Rapid Gale Barrage. This card can be an opponent's turn kill, but if you don't kill them with this and you multiple out, you're probably just going to lose, because you've added 2 extra cards in your card pool. And if that's the reason my opponent's losing, why would I want to do that to myself? But this card says, if my multiples do hit, my next card gets +1 to the check. And the multiple copies gain this ability as well. So it's kind of like once, they don't count towards progressive, which is really cool if we have some things that push for a later string. Like there was one turn that I played this into another one, and then I didn't get to combo and give it multiple too, but like just chaining these together is just good enough. And the fact that it is a reversal, a weapon, and a combo, and it combos with a combo, and all of my other cards are combo. So like I kind of found this perfect behemoth of an attack lineup. Onto the actions and assets. We're playing an interesting action lineup. First off, we're playing just double bang. Bang is a staple, especially in the kind of the format that we define for ourselves, with only getting to play a singular type of ultra rare, mine being Rose Whiplash. I think characters were really, really important, and I still think characters are really, really important. One of the easiest ways to get blown out is my opponent being able to stop and one of my opponent's character, doing too much and having too much value. So Bang just puts a stop to that. And then we're playing one Suffer My Bloodlust. I think this card was super interesting and super techy, and I wouldn't keep it in the deck as is, maybe with a couple changes. But the entire play, and I never got to do it inside of the Campus Championship, was to block, play the reversal after +4/+4, gain 4, and then Suffer My Bloodlust once it resolves and pick this guy back up. And then you can block reversal. You paid the 4, and then you just play it again, and then +4/+4, gain 4. So this makes this free. I never got a chance to attempt it, but it's there. It's there. It's not amazing though, honestly. On the assets, we're playing double fiddlesticks. Since we're playing only one copy of an asset of an ultra rare, I want to see the ultra rare, and this is just multiple copies of that ultra rare. I'll smack you with my 9 low for 9. It'll go to my momentum. I don't have a good use for momentum, except for the multiple attack, but I'll stack this on top, draw back up, block reversal, combo again. This just keeps my combos alive. I think this card is incredibly strong, and if you have not picked up fiddlesticks for the upcoming season, you definitely should. And then my last asset is Erudite Replica. This card just says Response Breaker 3. This card is okay in Tira. It does not have as much value as I want it to have. Sometimes people can get through Breaker 3, but sometimes after you stuff 2 cards in their card pool and then Breaker 3 them playing their 4th or 5th or 6th card, might just end their turn. And that is the goal with this card. Just, hey, end your turn so I can keep playing. So on to the foundations. Like I said, if you haven't seen one of my deck profiles, basically the way that this works is, as opposed to just reading off the cards, I've kind of put them into their own little groups of what they do, or own little sections. And so first off, I want to talk about momentum. The first card that I want to talk about is Save the Sea Rats. This is just discard 1 card from your opponent's hand if you got response once per turn with Tira. Stuff one in their momentum, hopefully they don't get to use it, and then flip, have a ready resource, and get rid of a card from their hand into their momentum. And then 9 times out of 10, we take that momentum and stuff it into their card pool. So it's just another use of that. Speaking of stuff cards in the card pool, we're playing 3 a New Master. This should have been a 4 of. If you're playing Tira, play 4 of this. Enhance your attack, commit. Your opponent adds one of their momentum to the card pool face down, playable if your opponent has 2 or more momentum. Super relevant, especially with Scratch. Scratch with Tira says that this is just Breaker 2 for the rest of the turn. It's actually a little unfair, just because of like how annoying and how different you have to play around these 2 cards in particular, especially if you see multiple scratches, if you see multiple New Masters, or if you're in a panic, enhance, destroy, add the top card, or add one of your opponent's momentum to the card pool, but you lose this resource. One of them is a commit cost, the other one is not. Speaking of cards in the card pool, we're playing Double Champion of Combat. This probably should have been a 4 of. It is the main way that I killed people. Giving +X on your stuff is very relevant, and the Deadlock Enhance definitely came into play. This character has 0 problem wanting to play into Deadlock as long as my opponent's not playing a bunch of throws. I felt very comfortable in that position. And so eventually giving +X, X equals the number of cards in your card pool is super great. It says that every time that they block, or every time that I toss things in their card pool, I think this engine is going to be very relevant in the near future, and you should be trying this out in a bunch of different characters. I think this engine here is just, or this 3-card combo is just good enough to kill people all by itself, all on like commons and uncommons. So if you want a strong deck for very cheap, this is the combo to do it. This is a combo to do, excuse me. Speaking of card pool clogging, we're playing 3 greatest combatants. It's just if they've got a face down, you get +1 or -1 damage. A little damage reduction because the goal of the Tira deck with the top desperation response is to keep my life at 9 and just leave it there. And so I want to keep your attacks half blocked or whatever. I want to stay at 9. As well as, just as I said before, Tira has an issue killing people. This is +1 damage. Plus he's got gnarly stats. It's a 1/6. It was super fun accidentally checking a 6. Into the more kill you cards, we're playing double Ending the Dream. Giving your attack +4/+4 and then an additional 4 damage means that you're just going to smack them for a bunch. 13 damage on a reversal pretty much halves any character. And the destroy effect is really relevant for another combo that we have. We're playing triple Ridding the World of Outsiders, one of the perfect reversal cards. It says your next attack this turn gets +2/+2. And so imagine we've got both of these cards on a Rose Whiplash. So +2/+2 to the next one, +4 to the Rose Whiplash, plus another 4. That's 10 extra damage on my 5 damage attack already. It is, as well as debuilding them a foundation, gaining 4 vitality. Flip it if you need to for the additional 1/1. Like, we're just making huge reversals that they're not allowed to block. We're playing double God of Thunder. This card just lets me live and block further. 9 times out of 10, I wasn't trying to play big attack strings on my turn, but I do have to play big attack block strings on my opponent's turn. And not only do I have to attack and block, I also have to attack, block, and reversal in order to make Tira work. And so this card just let me re-ready things, especially like Ridding the World of Outsiders, or my kill card, which was Champion of Combat. It let me re-ready Champion of Combat in order to squeak out a game once. We're playing double Honky Tonk Woman. I always put Honky Tonk Woman next to God of Thunder just because of the relevance of the 2 cards. Like I said, destroying a foundation is a really, really solid cost, and Honky Tonk Woman lets me reuse that destroyed foundation or anything that says flip, right? With double Honky Tonk Woman and God of Thunder, I can take and continuously commit flip ready stuff. I'll show you like a small example, right? So I've got my God of Thunder. I will destroy ready? I will destroy this Honky Tonk Woman in order to ready God of Thunder. I will flip Honky Tonk Woman. I'll add in the God of Thunder. Using the God of Thunder, I'll destroy this one to ready this one. Honky Tonk, I'll bring it back in. I'll destroy this one to ready this one. Honky Tonk, I'll bring it. Hey, look, there's a cute little infinite combo to just always attempt to have a ready foundation, as well as any other supporting cards that exist inside the deck. We're playing double Dreaming of Becoming Whole. It's here because it kind of does the same job as God of Thunder. Just readies up a foundation. Let's make something a little easier to play. It's a 0/5. That's really why it's here. On to the next one, I want to talk about life regulation. So, as I said, being at 9 vitality is the absolute pinnacle. I want to be at 9. I want to be no more, no less. And so the way that I do that is I make sure that I get to keep my vitality where it's at. Enhance, lose 1 vitality if this attack is deals no damage, gain 2. So it essentially says if I think they're going to block my attack, gain 2 vitality, or gain 1 vitality because I pay 1, obviously. And then even better, if I know I'm going to block their attack, gain 1 vitality. And then doing it twice is very good, as well as it is solid spam, meaning is a 2 or less difficulty, or less than 2 difficulty. We're playing triple Reborn Human. This card says after an attack, mine or yours does damage, gains gain 1 vitality, and then it doesn't count in the card pool towards to play attacks. And so you play this on my opponent's turn as a block, and then play the reversal. It doesn't count, and then you smack them and gain a little life back. Pretty relevant, very relevant. And then my last life regulation card is Toughest Punk in Junior High. This card's really, really good on the half block. A lot of people don't like to play this card, but I think it's actually necessary inside of Tira just because of how little life that we have to begin with. Taking a 6 damage attack, half blocking it, turning it into 3 damage, flipping a single Toughest Punk in Junior High, and then resetting it back up, destroying it with a God of Thunder, and then bringing it back in with Honky Tonk Woman to say you have an additional, 6 life is a very valid play in a deck that wants to go into the long game. Their goal is to kill you as soon as possible, and you need to make sure that you can stretch that out until you can find all your pieces. So onto the defensive pieces. We're playing 4 Journey West, and you go, Tam, you just said that you want to block everything so you can live, and people are throwing too big of attacks. Well, the thing is, Journey West is not actually for my attack. It's not for their attack. It's for my attack. Enhance flip. If this attack is not blocked, my opponent's next attack is +2 difficulty. And so the way that this card works is I block, I play my reversal, I make it a 13 low for 15, and then say, hey, if you don't block my 13 low attack, you have Breaker 2 and have stuffed your card pool. So, hey, you're not playing any more attacks this turn. Just build out so I can debuild you back. We're playing for Wearlight. I don't want my opponent to play a bunch of really crazy enhances. A lot of times attacks are more of a staging area problem as opposed to an attack itself problem. There are some decks that this is not true, but being able to take and turn off an attack's enhance step is very, very relevant. And this is the card to do it currently. Enhance flip and then just say, hey, let's go straight to blocks. I don't want to deal with any of that. We're playing Triple Pure of Heart. Honestly, this card is in here just because it's a good spam and a good high block. In case there's ever any discard cards, it's fine. I did use the first enhance successfully to make sure that my opponent did not discard my momentum, and so it was relevant enough that I would say actually just keep it in the deck. If you can find another 0/5 relevant block with a relevant ability, maybe you could play it over this, but I think this card is still very, very solid, even if there's no threat of the discard inside of a tournament. More defensive stuff. We're playing double Aegis and Wise. This card just says, I know I'm debuilding your staging area, but you don't get to debuild mine. Relevant, maybe one more in the sideboard, but with the loss of Jeddah in the meta, I don't think this card is hyper relevant anymore. Unless Tira makes a very strong comeuppance, I don't think this card is going to be very relevant. On to the one-ofs. So these are all cards that are kind of specific to Tira herself or the playstyle. All of these cards could have been cut, and the deck is exactly how it is, or deck can be played exactly how it is. We played one Celestial Being. This card just says if I get stunned out, cancel it, and that includes committing my character. Also, discard 2 momentum, +3/+3. I didn't have a huge momentum outs, except for that multiple, and sometimes +3/+3 is just what I need. I played one Darkstalkers. This was the most. This card surprised me the most out of any card that I had inside of my deck. It put in so much work being able to make sure I could block long strings. Basically, it said destroy for +4 speed, and then I got to recycle it back up with Honky Tonk Woman. There was one game where I played 3 of these in the same turn, just by destroying it, adding it back in with Honky Tonk Woman, destroying a card, readying it back up, destroying again. And because it was destroyed and then it comes back in, it does count as another thing. So if you have to instantly use it again and get +8 to your check, just because something is ungodly fast, do so. Playing one Venomous. I think this card should be in everybody's deck. I think people are sleeping on this card. This card, with cards like not Death Lords, Hellfire Impalement, you have to play this card. Draw X exists on a relevant card inside of the meta, and then this card says cancel draw X. Playing one Spaceland. Sometimes Tira has an issue with giving my opponent too much momentum, and so maybe their missile launcher or whatever kills me, and Spaceland says that doesn't happen. There are other Tira cards that also do this. They discard the cards, but I didn't feel it was necessary in order to do that. Maybe upon further review and how you like the deck, you can change your mind, but it also gives randomly +1 damage. And then my last card is one A Sun's Love. Since Tira's ability to draw is a response, this card makes you a 9-hander. I'm at 9 vitality. I'll respond and draw an additional card. First form, draw an additional card, and if they are so foolish, they will steal an extra momentum, and then you'll draw an additional card and become a 10-hander. That's insane. Being a 10-hand size character says that you pretty much shouldn't lose the game, but remember, drawing cards is not everything, fellas. All right, thank you so much for watching this Tira deck profile, all based around Rose Whiplash. If you like it, make sure that you check out all of the matches that Tira played in. They'll be on a playlist inside of their own channel, or maybe next week check us live on twitch.tv/TCGUniversity at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays, 6 o'clock Central, excuse me, and join us in the chat, hang out with us. We play all night long. And lastly, go to patreon.com/TCGUniversity to support us, as well as get a bunch of extra stuff. You'll get the deck lists a week early, as well as access to our Discord. You can have conversations about us with these decks or any other decks that you're working on. So from all of us here at TCG University, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.